Hey, everyone!
Hello.
We gotta. Oh, hey, Cody! We gotta
He's here
wait for
early.
live catch up. All right. While we're waiting for live to catch up, I'm going to tweet that we are live. If I can find my tweeter, there it is.
Peter. And then I
Yes,
guess introductions.
Yes, while I am doing that, well, hold on. Wait a little bit. I like to wait about 2 minutes in to make sure, because like it says we have 0 viewers right now, but there's like 4 or 5 people talking.
Yeah.
Okay, but let us say hi to Cody.
Hi, Cody.
And hello to Steve.
Hello, you.
I'm like multitasking. Hey, Audra. I just put we live mew instead of now.
Mew.
We're live mew. Tweeter. I like that's the only way I will refer to it. I'm like, I'm going on the tweeter. I'm going to do some tweeting.
Is that not what it's called?
No. Other people like to say I instead of E. I'm not saying they're wrong, but
I will. I'll say it.
I love you already. So I'm finishing setting up. All right. Well, I think we have quite a few people in here. Oh, hello, Tori. All right. So go ahead and introduce yourselves. Yes, this side. Jesse, go first.
Cool. Hello, I am Jesse, or Queef, from Cyborg Central. I am writing. I'm going to use the same terminology. I am writing a series about manipulative piece of shit gods and sacrifices, human sacrifices. And I'm hoping to hit a pretty big milestone in this live stream. So that should be interesting.
And I'm Matt. You might know me from CC. I write urban fantasy with elemental magic and other fun stuff. And I'm the dumbass half of Jesse's heart.
Well, everybody here should know me, and if you don't, I'm Sam. I'm a writer and a parent, and on my channel, I talk about both writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. I write all the things.
All the things.
Every single one.
Yes, everything in the universe was secretly I.
Sam's omniscient.
I am immortal. So, what is everybody working on tonight? I'm trying to find my document so I can open it. I will be working on revisions for Not For Her. I'm sorry to all the betas that were supposed to get it this week, and I had a migraine flare-up. You'll get it by Friday, hopefully.
So still the weekend, just a different weekend.
Different weekend. All right, Jesse, what are you working on tonight?
I am working on my, I guess, dark fantasy, right? Dark? Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Is it dark?
It's pretty dark.
Matt, what are you working on?
I am working on chapter 34 of my urban fantasy novel. And I'm pretty excited because it's a fight scene I've been looking forward to for a while now.
Aw, yeah.
Got that fight scene going.
Yeah.
So, Matt Stieg informs you to not enable me. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, don't listen.
Hey, Thomas, welcome. Just working on chapter 12 of A Fantasy Whip. Stieg's also working on his whip, which is a sci-fi space opera, but he neglected to put that in there.
Come on, Stieg.
Idea gathering and getting scenes down out of my brain. Ooh, thought dumping. Love it. I am trying to remember where I put my document to work.
I have
because
all of. Oh, God.
no, you go ahead.
I have all of my chapters in like a super disorganized folder on my Google Drive. And like I make multiple copies, like so I can send Jesse a copy and like stuff like that. And it's just a cluttered mess, and I still haven't fixed it.
Mine is like anally organized. So now I'm just like, am I editing the one in my website folder, or am I editing the one in this folder? So, because I have a folder that's called up-to-date copies, which I'm slowly phasing out.
See,
I think it's this one.
while we're both Virgos, you have like the organization aspect of being a Virgo, and I'm just like, I'm learning.
To be fair, Virgos actually, it's less about being anally organized and more just about having a system. So like I'm chaotically organized, which is why I'm like, is it in this folder or in that folder? But the point is, you can find everything. Okay, yep.
It's good to find everything, at least.
Yes. I know where I put it now. It was not in the website folder. See, the one in the website folder is in beta, so it's the one that I send to people. And the one in the folder I'm phasing out is the one I'm working on. Oh, for this one. My gay sci-fi detective space opera. I forgot a few words. Outlining still. How far along on your outline do you think you are, Thomas? Outlining Act 2 of Ghost Hunter Fever Dream. I like the premise of that already. Please stay anally organized one more time. Anally organized, anally organized, anally organized, anally organized. Gemini here. Birthday's on Saturday. So my son's birthday is on Friday. He is also a Gemini. And one of my besties, Chrissy, her birthday was the 31st. So I know several Geminis. Capricorns represent. Stieg is, however, the only Capricorn I know.
Me. I'm a Capricorn.
I know too.
Also, Audra, happy almost birthday.
Yes, happy almost birthday. Hi, everyone. Stupid computer is being slow. Well, we appreciate you being here. Fight the internet. That's definitely how that works.
Yeah, just give it a quick headbutt and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
But what would hurt more, my head or the internet? Probably the internet. I have a hard head.
Yeah, the internet's soft. It's like a pillow.
A pillow with bars.
Basically.
Taurus, Gemini, cusp. Yeah. Scorpio. I like Scorpios. I'm married to one. I know that, like Virgos, Scorpios can get a bad rep for certain like characteristics, but I find that those are just misunderstood. We're just critical because we want to help you improve your life. I'm a Pisces. Do I know any other Pisces? Cody, maybe? No. I'm trying to remember what Jenna is. I think she's either Pisces or Aquarius, and I'm failing.
I think she's an Aquarius.
Yeah, Aquarius.
Yeah.
Jenna Morassi, right? Yeah, Aquarius.
Yep. Okay, there you go. I was like, it's around there. I'm a horrible friend. Not close enough to being. I feel that in my soul.
That's a vibe.
I have a progress bar for my whip on my website, and I'm like, I want to update it, but I have to learn how to update it. And then also, what percentage do I update it to? My arbitrary number. Aquarius, thank you. Yes. See, everybody knows. I'm ashamed. That's why I was like, Pisces didn't sound right. I just know it's around there. So I blame the brain fog failing me.
See, my thing with like, what is it? Astrology? Is that what that's called?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, I know Virgo because that's what I am, but then other people are like, "Oh, I'm a Gemini." I'm like, "Cool." I don't know what that means, though.
I'm like that with some of them because, like, with the ones that like Aries, I know Aries. I got Aries down, and then Leo, I know them too. I was raised by one. So I'm like, yeah, I know these ones. And then like somebody's all like, yeah, I'm a Cancer. And I'm like, cool. I know.
Crab.
So you're a waters? You were born in the summer? So I feel that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't even know what Capricorn's supposed to mean, so I don't know anything about astrology.
I am semi-familiar with Capricorns because I went to, like, I knew a girl who was a Capricorn from the time I was like 5 until I graduated high school. So like, got that. But I was raised with 2 of my sisters who are both Aries, and they like embody different parts of Aries too. So I'm like, anytime someone's like, yeah, I'm an Aries, I'm like, I got your number. Like I already know. I'm between a Capricorn and Aquarius. I'm a confused person. I feel for everybody who's a cusp or is like born on the tail end or the beginning, because it's all like influenced by both, or sometimes some things match and other times, and so it's all like, I don't know what to do. Pisces are just emotional all
I've
the
heard
time.
that. I had a friend in high school that was a Pisces, and I'm like, that makes sense.
I know Pisces and Aries because of Jenna Marbles and Julian. I know neither of these people, but I hope whichever one is the Virgo is repping us well. I was literally within 5 minutes of being a Gemini. My daughter's a Taurus, and she's a full-on stubborn bull.
That is one thing I do know, is that Tauruses can be very stubborn. My father, for instance. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My Aunt Serena is a Taurus, and she's only 12 years older than me, so she's kind of more like just an older big sister. And she's definitely, she can be stubborn, but then also her opinion could change like that, so she can be very whimsical. So I'm just like, I don't know how to classify Tauruses sometimes, because it's like, well, yeah, they can be stubborn, but they can also decide that their favorite color is purple and that they now hate green.
So you mentioned like cusps. Are we considered on the cusp of being a Virgo, or are we just smack dab in the middle? I don't know the cutoffs.
What is
We
your
have the
birthday?
same birthday.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
I
same
thought
birthday.
no, we're in the dead center. So like
Good.
cusp are born in the 20s, because
Gotcha.
the 20s are when the constellations switch over in the sky. So anybody that's born in like the first or last week of a month is pretty much the dead center of that sign.
I did not know you 2 had the same birthday.
Yeah, we're birthday twins.
We are. Jenna Marbles is a huge YouTuber, one of the OGs, the only non-writer account I religiously follow. Like, I'm a lazy bitch about just everything that doesn't involve writing and my children. So
Every time I type in Jenna, our Jenna, not Jenna Marbles,
Our Jenna.
I go to type in Jenna M, and I expect Moresi to be first, but then it's always Marbles, and I always click on the wrong one. Every time.
My search engine knows better. They're like, Jenna Morasi? And I'm like, yes. I don't even have to put in Jenna. It's just Gen. They're like, Jenna Morasi? And I'm like, damn straight. Put
Jenna
nobody
Marbles,
else.
10 tips about writing emotional scenes.
Parents are Aries and Virgo. Sisters are Taurus. My brothers are Pisces and Cancer. Not counter. Whoa. No one's the same sign. Yeah, we are, there's me and my husband, and then we have 3 kids, and none of us are the same sign. So when people are talking about signs, I'm like, I've got almost half the zodiac in my house right now. Our Jenna. She is our Jenna, and we love her. Republic. My mom's a Sagittarius. My mom and dad are the same thing. My mom's a Sagittarius and my dad's a Leo. And your sister's a Libra. Part of me is like, I'm sorry, but that's just because I knew one really bad Libra. My oldest is a Libra, so there's that. Dang, dinner making me late. I want to jokingly be like, damn you, dinner, but I'm far too food oriented. So I'm like, no, it's fine. Get your dinner.
Gotta eat.
Yep.
Don't want to be
Alright.
hangry.
Oh no. That's both of
That's
my
the worst
sisters.
kind of anger.
So angry. Alright. Are we ready for our first sprint?
We are.
And Chimera to Libra. Okay, so we got. Haha! Did it right. Okay, so, and our sprint starts in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Let me put the break timer on. Okay, so how did everybody do? Let's start with you, Jesse.
Okay, so I did 511 words. A little bit more important though, I finished my very first draft of the full draft, which is like crazy to me. I've been working on it for 5 years.
Damn.
Yeah, 5 years. It's like, whew, it's come so far, and it's just, I'm like shaking right now a little bit. So
Congratulations.
thank you for that, but also thank you for letting me do it on your stream. It's awesome to have this, like, I'll be able to have this forever. Like, I could see myself, like, go back and see myself the second I finish it and just look at my face and just see how excited and happy I am. So I really like that, and I appreciate that from you. And I appreciate you, Matt, for being critique partners and trying to, and like pushing me to do more. It's my dog just.
They're excited for you.
Yeah.
And then thanks to like everybody else, Cyborg Central has helped a lot with like writer things, and of course Jenna for helping with all the videos and getting Cyborg Central together. So I'm just really happy right now. So thank you everybody.
Well, Jesse, I have a celebratory shot for you because I knew you were going to finish your draft. So, in celebration of Jesse finishing his draft, we're taking a shot.
And a drink of weird wine.
Chug it.
Applause for Jesse.
Congratulations. We're super excited and happy for you. That's
Can't wait to read the whole thing.
Thanks.
Looking forward to it too. Matt, how did you do?
Well, I didn't finish the draft.
He's like, how am I supposed to follow that up?
Like, it's cool you finished the draft and all, Jesse, but I wrote 328 words, so.
I think you win.
Where's my applause? Thank you.
I got through a scene and a half of rereading and revisions, so.
Nice.
I didn't keep track of the words.
Understandable.
And let's go to the chat. Cody's eating dinner. Rowan says yes. Woo, right in time. Ready, Freddy. I know it's a fan, but I envision just with the stream for the song. We were actually teasing him about that before the stream. We're like,
Right?
It kind of is.
235 words. Oh, here we got the celebration. Whoop, whoop. Woo! And then the chat just refreshed and I gotta scroll back up.
Of course.
76 words. Then I got a call for a possible new job and have to send them info. Oh,
Nice.
yeah. All the good things going around. Yay, just
Congratulations.
Also, I did 200 words. My Muggle work alarm went off, and I had to go work as soon as the alarm went off. Oh, I'm sorry. But thank you for being here, despite having to work your regular job. Congrats. Sorry, I want to say that better because I was burping. Congratulations! I was like burping. It's like, I sounded so uncaring. It's so beautiful. I needed this too. You're welcome. We love Jesse and his writing. I've read the prologue.
Yes, the prologue.
Okay.
I love the prologue.
And it was great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There's a
I don't know where my neck went, but thanks.
Can I tell them the thing about the rituals with the prologue?
Sure.
So in Jesse's prologue, he was talking about how like the knife was rusty or bloodstained. It was bloodstained, and I was like, why is a religious ritual knife bloodstained? And Jesse's like, oh well, it shouldn't be for this reason. And I'm like, Okay, because I was thinking more along the fact that it's a ceremonial knife for a religious thing. So they'd like keep it really nice, probably use some like special oils and stuff. And Jesse's like, I like that you just know that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was because it was the very first one out of any time. Why would there be blood on it? Unless this guy's a crazy person. So
Maybe he was using it to like cut dinner.
maybe. Let's go with that answer.
Don't know the word count, but I finished chapter 7. Oh yeah, in
Nice.
this stupid typing my manuscript printout. Oh, you'll get there. Slowly but surely. Cheers. I'll have a sip of coffee since I'm at work. I too had a sip of coffee, Steve. You are not alone. I have to try it later. Yeah. Hand clap. What do you do and where do you go from here, Jesse?
I was telling him about that because one of my friends asked that, and I was like, "How do I answer such a loaded question?" Because I have no idea. Like right now, I'm just like over the moon, but afterwards, I'm like, "Oh, there's still way more to do." So
you hand it to other people to rip apart. Then
yeah, my hopes and dreams getting shattered page by page.
Reality crashing down. 3 chapters outlined. Oh yeah,
Nice.
Character profiles. How many more profiles do you think you need to do? Because if I remember right, you're usually working on profiles in the stream. So I'm very curious.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I also looked up the name of beautiful deadly plants and got the name for a witch. I love that naming convention. So, fun fact, I was renaming my main character because her original name was Sylvia, but she's from the Silver Clan and her deity is Silveris. Like, there was reasons, but I'm like, Sylvia of the Silver Clan, and I'm like, that would probably get really confusing. It was cute when I was 16, but I should rename her. So I was looking at name meanings, and I found Nova, which I really liked all of the definitions for Nova. And then the bottom definition was also, I forgot what language, but in some language it means food. And I was like, yes.
Love that. Now, with my character names, what happened with me, I don't know if this has happened to anyone else, but I was having like just a fever dream basically. And I just like knocked out all of my characters' names and like they had these like deep meanings and everything. But while I remember the names, I didn't write down any of the meanings. So I like my characters have these names and I don't know what any of them mean, but that's their name.
It's like this had a really cool meaning that connects with your character. I just don't remember.
Right. And like some of them are like fuzzy. I'm like, that's something, right? That's like snow, maybe? I don't know.
I was like, it means snow. It's a flurry, a light sprinkling.
Yeah.
Unless this guy is a crazy person. Having read your prologue, that guy Defo is a crazy. I mean, fair.
Well, he had a reason that time. The other ones weren't, or the other one wouldn't have been a reason.
I love the general attitude and demeanor and how put out he was by the fact that he had the other guy was just not cooperating. How rude. The beautiful thing about fulfilling a dream is that you get to go and find a new one.
Aww. Steeg with the poetry.
We have a dog named Nova. Well, there you go. I remember my main character too, from Nicholas to Darian. I renamed my main character from Nicholas to Darian, from victory to gift. Ah, yeah, the gift of victory. Darian Nicholas. I have a Darian in my book. I have a folder full of names and their meanings and origins. Awesome. Is that Jessamine is her name, and the plant causes paralysis and muscle weakness. I don't want to eat that plant. I stole that from Tinkled. I knew it sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it.
Jesse and I both have Aidens in our stories, but Jesse spelled his Aiden wrong.
No, it's Biden.
Biden. Yes,
Oh,
I
right.
try to remember what everybody's working on. Sometimes I succeed. A few more. That means close to finishing. Congratulations!
Yay!
So much awesomeness happening today.
This is a good stream.
Yeah.
Only 40 minutes in.
Yeah. Oh, Jessamine is how I'm pronouncing it. So, the Michigan way. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, my Michigan relatives would pronounce that Jessamine, and my Southern friends would pronounce it Jessamine. Everybody's congratulating. I'm dual wielding drinks over here. You don't have to be sorry. Just anything with mine is mean in the South. Or min. Mean or min. Thank you all. I also got my birthday card from my sister, hand drawn. But oh, that's so sweet. I have my children hand draw cards now, and like our youngest has gotten a passion for art. And she figured out that I know how to make envelopes out of paper. So she'll like bring me a piece of paper and she'll be like, I need a letter. And I'm like, do you want an envelope? And she's like, a letter. And I'm like, that's not what that is, but okay. The first time she did it to my husband was totally confused. He was like, what does she mean she wants a letter? And I was like, just hand me the paper. She wants a little envelope. There you go. And he's like, how do you know how to do that? And I'm like, we were very fancy in my high school, apparently. So like people would paper origami notes to each other and then flick them on each other's desk. I could not paper origami, so I just made envelopes. That was my contribution. I couldn't do that
stuff either.
In middle school, I would make bow and arrows out of like my agenda binding and a string from my sock.
Dang. From your sock.
Yeah, I would just mangle my socks to make like a shitty bow and arrow that couldn't shoot anything.
I bet your parents loved that.
They loved it. I'm like, I have a weapon though.
Be like, why do I keep having to buy more socks for this kid? They should last longer.
The dryer's eating them, Mom. What's going on? There's a very heavy Midwestern influence.
All right.
Oh, I like bin better. You're very welcome. Well, once we start saying, oh, let me just sneak right by you, it's over.
Oh.
Milk.
It's not milk, it's milk. I don't say milk. I don't say milk, Stieg. Nice try.
We also did fancy note passing, but we were taught how to make envelopes in middle school. Rowan did both. They didn't just pick one. That's awesome. I used to nanny the toddler, asked for triangles. I have no clue what they were called. It was quesadilla cut into triangles. So we, when my husband makes the kids quesadillas, my middle son calls them taco pies or taco pizza. And I'm like, neither of these seem to fit, but, you know, kids just logic their own way. I also don't say milk. I say milk. There you go. Saying ope is a big Ohio thing. It's just a Midwestern thing. The funny thing is that milk is milk in Norwegian. You're welcome for all the northern influence the Midwest, TM. Well, the fun fact... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know a lot of people in here, or around here, that are Norwegian, including me, so...
Yeah, see, the fun fact about American accents is that most of our regional accents are actually evolved from whoever immigrated there. So, like, my four greats grandfather and his two brothers are from Norway. And they, like most of the Scandinavians, they sent Midwest, which is why a lot of Midwesterners, their accent is actually almost identical to when Norwegian or Finnish or Swedish people speak English. Like, and it's also why British people, when they try to copy an American accent, they can do like the Southern accents really well, specifically the Confederate accents, because those are the accents that evolved from British English.
I always learn so much on your streams. we always go off in things like this.
Little tangent.
I have a love of knowledge and history and learning, and I like to share it. So you're welcome.
We love trivia.
We do. We also have trivia games that my husband is better at than me somehow. And I don't know how. My kids call fettuccine Alfredo reverse spaghetti.
So good.
It is. My grandpa's sister is named Nasset. Is it Nasset or Nasset? How would you say that? Yeah, our last name was apparently Ukaluksen until we got to Ellis Island, and they were like, nobody here can fucking say or spell that. You're coming from Nassau County. Your name's Nasset now. That's how it is. I love the side eye. All right, so our break timer's over, which means we're going to do another sprint. Jesse, what are you going to work on during this sprint?
I have a lot of, so I write in Final Draft format, and I only have PDFs, and they're not editable. So I have to retype everything back up because I got a new laptop. So that is what I'll be working on.
Okay, cool. I'll be working on the same thing. I assume everybody else is going to be working on the same thing. So.
Yep.
All right. Oh, also. Oh, wait, hold on. Nasset is derived from headland. Huh, interesting.
Land of head. Wait, no, that probably doesn't sound right.
I could have a lot of different meanings.
What a fun place to live.
I was going to say something, and then you said that, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, also, everybody, remember, this is a self-promo, like, safe zone? It's not what I was going to go, but either way, point is, sorry, my brain fog has erased all ability to function right now. So if you want to, go ahead, drop your links to your social medias in the chat below, or, you know, just tell people how to find you. I welcome self-promo of all kinds. Hoe it up, y'all. Pimp yourselves out.
Get it out.
All right. So with that said, we're going to go into our next sprint. I'm probably actually, before we do that, I'm going to go with a different timer because that one scared the living fuck out of me when it went off. Nobody else can hear it, but I can.
Wait, what was it? It was rainbows that, like, what was the sound?
So, like, I'm just sitting here and I'm expecting like birds twittering or just something like that. And it's just this giant boom. And I'm like, oh God, the phone isn't that loud. What the fuck?
Wow.
So,
rainbows are prone to explosions, I guess.
Apparently.
I was just glad that like it like that's one of those few times I'm like, I'm glad it's not sharing the sound because I would have felt so bad to everybody else.
It just jumps.
I think you can see it sometimes when the thing goes off because I'll be like all right, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, sprints. Jesse.
Yes.
I have been told you should look into PDF to Word conversion to avoid having to retype everything.
I was told that, or I was like Googling that, and I think it said there was something that said that it would work with a certain program, but I tried it and it was like really bad. So if there's any like suggestions, I will be happy to hear them because this is a lot of work. So I'm not sure. Okay.
I'll DM you. Oops. There we go. All right. That sprint is over. Heart attack not gotten.
That's good.
And the break timer is on. How did everybody do that sprint?
I'm going to be honest. It was nothing like the last one in terms of productivity. Actually,
You
I
finished another draft? Sorry.
I wish. I did absolutely nothing. I was texting Jenna, and then I was looking at that thing that you sent me, and that's about it. So
You earned a break.
Yeah.
that's true.
I got a cool 431.
Yeah. I added some to a scene and was messaging back and forth with Fox. So, which I'm sending you a message that he just sent me. All right. How did everybody else do? Cody says, "Too late, Matt. It's out there. The land of head lives forever." If only Sam had a super techie Canadian friend who goes above and beyond to help everyone out. If only. Hey, Candy! Hey, y'all, I'm driving home from virtually writing in my mind. Awesome. Well, drive safely, and thank you for being here. Decided I needed to create something new. My friend gave me the idea to start a Sims story blog, so I'm coming up with character ideas and town history. That sounds fun. 174 words. Yeah. Half a chapter outlined, got distracted. That happens. I'm actually doing something awesome. I organized old files and deleted old documents I didn't need / use anymore. Found some old things I might use but might not ADD it to the maybe pile for possible dismantling. That is fair. So, how's everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
He's only doing really good.
Oh. How are you doing, Matt?
I am doing great. Right before the stream started, I picked up a shift at work tomorrow, so I'm getting more money. Yay!
Yeah.
Those kinds of things are so conflicting because it's like you want money, but you don't want to work.
Right.
Chris got moved to second shift, and when he got moved to second shift, I absolutely hated it because when I talk like in videos and stuff about back when he worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week, it was on second shift, and that negatively affected my health after a while, and I think it really messes with him and the kids' mental health.
Right.
And then he's like, "Oh, but like they're moving me to second shift, but they said that they'll only work me until 11:30." And I'm like, sure they won't. And sorry, I'm sitting on something. And then as of last week, they're working 4 to 4, and he's worked all weekend. So
That's rough.
yeah, that's fun. And like last night, see, he's a team lead. So after his area like makes their numbers, then they can all go home. Well, apparently some of the people who were there last night cared more about their hours than their numbers, and so he messaged me on break, and I'm like, that workaholic culture that we got. I got a whopping 0 words tonight getting mom things done, like cleaning the kitchen. I feel you. Today was a good day. Yay, money.
Yay, money.
I'm working tomorrow. Godspeeds to you. I have 3 days of work left, teacher.
Are your kids still in school?
Mine?
No, like Audra's. Like, is it like a summer school thing?
I think, and Audra can, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think teachers continue working on into the summer, and they start working at least a couple weeks before the actual school year starts. So,
Gotcha.
like, last day of school for kids is not last day of school for teachers.
Makes sense. Grading and whatnot.
Yes. There's teacher planning, teacher training, a bunch of other stuff. I don't remember exactly, but we had a few teachers who talked about it.
Gotcha.
Back again, pesky work. Why do I have to pay my bills? That darn needing money for a living thing. So, excuse me, inconvenient. I am so sad that I did not screenshot it. I just looked at the live and we were at 1 hour, 11 minutes, 11 seconds with 11 viewers.
Oh, wow.
Like, that would have been so cool to screenshot. Now, our school year ends on the 10th. We have a day after, and grades are due the 12th. We end on the later side. Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
My school did that too. There were people that were like, oh, yay, it's summer vacation. And we're like, huh, we go to June 18th this year. Woohoo. And it wasn't like one of those year-round schools where you have a couple weeks in the summer. It was like a normal school. But we always started the very end of August instead of after Labor Day, and then ended really late.
See, our schools start, well, when I went to school, they started around August 14th, and then they ended May 20th. And now, because they want to do year-round schooling, but they don't want to, it would be really hard to go from the current system to year-round schooling, especially for like kids who have been there for 10 years. So they just kind of steadily increase the school year one, like half a week at a time every year. So now, like, my kids start the first week of August and they get out like May 26th, I think, was when they were supposed to get out this year. So, but they also have an extra break in fall that I didn't have growing up. And I remember talking to somebody about it, and they said that their school, they're like, well, all schools already get a month off for spring break. And I'm like, the fuck you go to school? I don't get a month off.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yeah, I'm like, I get 1 week. I know some people get 2. I thought they were lucky.
Yeah.
Apparently some people get a month off for spring break, and I'm mildly jealous.
That'd be so nice.
My new school is year-round. Also, I like the idea of year-round school a lot better. I liked the idea when I was in school, because I'm like, more breaks throughout the school year. I feel like I would have felt more refreshed, and I would have forgot less. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and when it's that long summer, it's like, it's so much harder to get back into it than like a little break.
yeah, and then now that I'm older, I've got the parent perspective too, and I'm like, I get into a really nice routine during the school year of after they go to school, I then have like 8 hours to catch up on mom chores and actually try to get some writing done, and then they're out for like spring break or Christmas vacation or something, and I'm like, they're here all the time now. Like, children, why? It's not like I had you. We don't even have spring breaks in Norway. Is that because you don't have spring in Norway? I did online school. There are pros and cons to year-round. Next year will be my first year teaching it. Well, yes, I can't think of the cons right now, but I'm sure that they exist. I just focused on the things I liked about it and moved on with my day.
Yeah, I remember when I was in elementary school, my birthday was always like the first week of school.
Oh.
And like I remember, like third grade, distinct memory, my birthday was the first day of school.
Ooh.
And so it's like, brought cupcakes in, and it's just like, yeah, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone. Have some
Woo.
sugar. So I went to kindergarten in Kentucky, and their school year was a little different. So I was able to start kindergarten, or their cutoff was different. So I was able to start kindergarten when I was 4 instead of when I was 5. So by the time I graduated high school, I was only 17.
I was the opposite end of the spectrum on that. I started kindergarten at age 6.
Yeah, most of my friends who had fall birthdays started like when they were 5, turning 6.
Yeah.
That's what Michael did. His birthday is in October. But no, I was 4. It's fine though, because I liked school. So I was the youngest in every friend group though, until after high school. Now I'm one of the oldest in all of my friend groups, and I'm like, is this how they felt?
Like us 3 right here.
Yes, like I'm the oldest of us 3.
Yeah, I'm like 11, I think.
Yeah. I'm 13.
Yeah, you're 13, Jesse.
I'm not catfishing people with my thumbnail.
Yeah, that was not a picture of me.
So, fun fact about some of the thumbnails. A lot of them are just from an author photo shoot that I did when I was trying to get pictures for my website. And then I think after we run low on ones that work for that, it's just going to be from the massive backlog of thumbnails that are unused for my videos. Because whenever I send Fox pictures, it's no less than 40. And sometimes, if my cat's around, there will be 120, I think was the most. Because I will just make my cat take pictures with me.
Love it.
I was born on my sister's last day of kindergarten.
Nice.
That's cool. School year's over. Also, you have a sister. My sister started at 4 years old. She was the last of her friends to turn 21, and they were all sad because she was a designated driver.
That would suck. I'd be sad too.
No.
Oh, that reminds me. All of my friends had licenses and cars and stuff, and I didn't, so I couldn't go anywhere.
That was me too.
And even when I was old enough to get a license, my mom was like, "No." She's like, "You're not driving."
Yeah, that was me too, because I got my license at 21. So yeah, that was a little late.
I didn't get mine until 17 because I was terrified of driving.
Oh, I got mine at 16 because I fought. I was like, I want it. And my mom she took me to the DMV, convinced I would fail the driving test. And then I would have to wait 6 months so I couldn't harass her anymore. And then I went out, and in all fairness, I should not have passed. I turned too wide. I stopped too slow at a stop sign. I stopped too fast at the next stop sign. And there were 2 other things I did. And all we did was we just went around the neighborhood. We didn't even go into traffic. And I was just like, yeah, I have a lot of different people teaching me to drive, including truck drivers, and truck drivers kind of drive differently. That's why when my grandfather was driving truck, he refused to drive when he was home because it was just too different. And so, but she was like, just promise me that you'll practice and that you won't drive without a licensed driver. And then she passed me. And my mom was like, you are not driving my car until you get more practice. And I was like, ha ha, but I didn't fail. So...
No. I failed my driver's test the first time because I was so nervous about the maneuverability. So when I passed that, for the actual driving part, I just rolled a stop sign. And they're just like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't have a driver's license.
They call that
This
a California
is
in Tennessee. This is news to me.
Jesse, no, you drive for a living.
I'm a delivery driver. Yeah.
That's why whenever somebody talks about people drive so bad in my city, I'm like, we get our license out of a Cracker Jack box. That's about the equivalent of how I got mine. 43 words. Congratulations on your 43 words. I got my license at 24, a bit late. I actually know a lot of people who didn't get their license until in their 20s. They didn't even test me, LOL, instant pass. You know, I actually had a friend who he didn't get a learner's permit, but the day he turned 18, he went and registered for a driver's license, and they just gave him the license without even testing him.
Wow.
I
So
should have done that.
that's like, I should have just waited.
Like, I was close to 18. They should have just waited. No test.
I got mine at 20. I'm 24 and I still don't have one. So see, there's a lot of people who wait. And in all honesty, probably the wiser thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I still shouldn't be allowed to drive. Like, I can't park at all.
So I sometimes get weird anxiety when I'm driving. Now, I've lived in my city almost all of my life, with the exception of a few years when I was in Florida and like before I was 5. But sometimes still, when I'm driving, I'll go to like make a left turn and my brain just goes, you're going into one-way traffic. You're going into one-way traffic. We don't even have one-way traffic on this half of the city. And I'm just like, oh my God, I should not be driving right now. I don't know what just happened. I fucking hate it. But the good news is, like, my body, the rest of me still knows, no, we're going the right direction, dumbass. So I just keep going. But
I have those worries too sometimes. I hate one-way traffic so much. It's like my downfall, my kryptonite.
See, we only have one-way traffic like in downtown, and it's only like this one specific section. They're the only part of the city that has one-way traffic, and the rest of it doesn't. So, a cultural difference between Tennessee and Florida. When I lived in Florida, the first time I drove, I needed to go left to get into somewhere. And I'm like, how do you get to the left side of the road? And my husband was like, well, you go to the light and you U-turn. And I'm like, U-turns are illegal in my city. But I made the U-turn, and I was like, I think I did pretty good for my first U-turn. And he's like, what do you mean you've never made a U-turn before? I'm like, they're illegal in my city. But in Florida, they have at least in Orlando, they have mediums all over the place. So you can never just turn left. You always have to make a U-turn. Well, we come to Tennessee, and my husband has to drive. And he's like, okay, well, if I don't U-turn at the light, how do I get over there? And I'm like, oh, you just go in suicide lane. And he's like, I go where now? And I'm like, yeah, suicide lane. The middle lane that's with the yellow lines, you sit there, and then you wait for a break in traffic to go left. And he's just like, nope. Like, to be fair, your city is the safer one. But this is how mine functions. So
I didn't know U-turns were illegal anywhere.
Yes.
We have those same things that you were talking about where you go in and then turn around.
Wait, so do you have the mediums and you U-turn at the light?
Trying to think. Some places they have that. Not all of them though.
See, and then in some areas, if it's like a particularly long thing, they'll have breaks in the medium, but it's still kind of set up very safely versus just go in the middle and pray. Make it across the road. They have a technical term too, but I don't know what it is.
U-turns are legal here. I'm just terrified of them, so I don't do them. Like, if I need to do a U-turn, I just don't go there.
That's fair. We also, hello?
I think Jesse froze.
Jesse! He froze a very majestic.
Right? Like, hair's flowing.
Hair.
Here he is.
Better?
Yep.
Yes.
I still hear you guys. Just
damn it, we should have shit-talked him. I mean, we love you so much.
Oh yeah, I sure you do.
God, that prologue. Ugh.
I'm 23 and I don't have a license. People are the craziest drivers around here. Like, I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to like drive in traffic. Jesse, drive a car. Also, Jesse, not sure how turns.
I was trying to think. It's not my fault.
Only part of Florida I've been to was the Keys. All the addresses on Highway 1 are mile markers. Oh my damn. Oh, that so as I have established, a lot of people where I grew up were not given a proper driving education. I'm a truck driver's granddaughter, so I was taught certain things since I could walk. Well, I'm going on a road trip with some friends, and I'm like, okay, so we got to take exit, let's pretend exit 64. And I'm like, and that's mile marker 60, so in about 4 miles. And they're like, well, how do you know that? And I'm like, because exits are numbered after their mile markers. And they were like, what? And I'm like, yes. How do you not know these things? The freeze looked like a rap album.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that because I didn't see what it, or how it froze.
It was majestic.
It was
My hair blowing.
There are worse ways that you could have frozen. U-turns are called Michigan lefts here. Doggy!
Yeah, she came over and wanted some affection. Now she's licking my feet.
Yes, they do. Oh my gosh. So Nabby, my pit bull, she licks us when she's like nervous or anxious. And the last time we had a storm, she just laid by me and was determined that she needed to clean my fuzzy pajama pants to like death, right? To the point of if I actually touched my pajama pants, they were a little wet on the outside, so I was just not touching my pants. Well, my daughter came up to me and she likes to just feel my pants sometimes. And she felt them. And she was like, ew, why are you wet? And I'm like, because the dog's cleaning mommy's pants. And she's like, don't lick mommy's pants. I'm like, baby, it's okay. Leave the dog alone. She's scared. But it was just like the greatest thing right there. Even riding in the car with family or friends makes me nervous, especially my mom, because road rage. I'm not vibing with my new MC name, so now I'm deep diving on baby name sites. As one should. I love using baby name sites for characters. Never used one for my kids, but use them for my characters all the time. What about you two? Do you two go on baby name sites for characters?
I sometimes, like, there are a few where I'm like, what is this guy's name gonna be? Or what's this person's name gonna be? And so I went on there, but not all the time.
I've never used a baby name site. I generally go for like I talked about earlier, I don't know where a lot of my characters' names came from. But it's a lot of like different languages and using like words from their language and combining them to make it sound like a name. And then there's also just like some characters that just have people names that just like kind of vibe with them.
Yes. So I have a funny character naming story for y'all. I needed to give a character a last name, and I was like, well, I kind of want it to sound like a little Frenchy, fancy, and and so, but I'm like looking around the room, seeing if I can get some inspiration, and I see a can of spaghetti sauce. So I'm like, her name is Sabrina Ragu. And all my friends loved it. They were like, oh, that's such an awesome name. Like, how did you name her? And I'm like, spaghetti sauce.
Spaghetti sauce. I love that.
Yeah, like my main character, like his name, just no meaning whatsoever. I'm just like, yeah, that sounds right. Let's throw it out there.
Some names are just amazing and need to be used. I should call him Dixon. Dix. Baby name sites are awesome. That's the go-to for my characters, baby names. Baby name sites are great. I also look up generators for something more fantastical. I like to, I'm one of those writers who will have like really like 5 characters with super awesome fancy names like Wenzer, Silveris. I can't think of the other ones. And then there's one that's just Bruce. That's their name. So yeah, I'm one of those
Bruce will be
people.
memorable.
That's actually what I did for the deities of my current whip. There's the god of wind and travel. His name is Bruce. And then Wenzer is water and wisdom. I'm trying to remember the others' names, but neither here nor there. Time to do a sprint. Everybody sees what I've been watching. All right. Are we ready? I'm going to take y'all's silence as a yes. 3, 2, 1.
I thought you were asking the chat.
Asking everybody. All right, here we go. All right, that sprint is over. Starting another break sprint. And the sprint we do after this break will be the last sprint of tonight's live stream. Oh, excuse me.
Sounds good.
So, how did we do? I am on page 5 of 8 revising, so getting through there. How'd you two do?
I got 619 words.
I got a cool 496.
Awesome, awesome. My MC's name with a meaning, but I decided to change the meaning to make it more special, even though it has a real meaning. That's fair. It says a lot about Bruce. I love Bruce. It's one of my faves. I once took a cab in England and someone called the driver, and I peeked over and saw who was calling, and I was like, that's a cool name. I'll steal that. And I saw a doctor's name in a patient's journal and was like, wow, you sound like such a cool person. I'll steal that name. Steve's just stealing people's names. At the nursing home I work at, we have a lot of Eastern European and Jewish names. If I'm absolutely desperate for a first name, I'll look at our resident list. Carrie also stealing people's names out here. I love those kind of days where you hear a name and like it, so you put it into your story. Baby name sites usually do the trick, though. One of the names was Thivia the Vanathan? And I thought that just looked so cool. See, it looks fine, but I have no idea how I'm supposed to say that. I need a pronunciation guide, please. I have a character named Farble Malby Farby. He's sort of the Steve Jobs of Fairyland. There's a whole story about how I came up with the name. Do share. Also, tell me if I was even close with that pronunciation. I'm going to hop out and want to build my town in Sims World before it gets too late so I can write something and launch my blog soon. All right, have fun with that.
See you later.
Laters.
Good building to you. I'm going to go take a shower. If I don't come back, I got 45 words. There. Get all nice and clean. 219. Aw, yeah. 2.5 chapters outlined. Yeah. We love an outline. Almost done with this chapter. I've named a side character after my old dog who passed. Aw, I love that. One of my first, it was almost my first novel. I made it all the way to the end, and then I was like, I have to write a massive giant battle and just know. So I never actually finished it.
That's what I just got done doing too.
I named one of the main characters after my old dog, Kyle. So I'm here for that.
I also have a character named after an old dog.
See, when people are like judging that you name your dogs human names, just be like, so I can immortalize them in a book at some point.
Dogs, when they really hate you, they you want to keep them around forever. I had a dog named Maddie, and she was a golden retriever too. We had her for 12 years out of 19 years in my life, so most of my life. And then MJ right now is Maddie Jr. MJ, so that's how we kind of did that.
I love that. If I did that with my side characters, it would be Cat or Mr. Twinkle or Batman, and somehow that doesn't fit my character name instead. I think
Mr. Twinkles is pretty good.
That's what I was going to say. Name somebody Mr. Twinkle. Do it. My mom's sister and nephew were passing Arlington Cemetery, and my mom said, if there's a landmark here, could a mall be far behind? And my nephew, Josh, said, Grandma, what's a maybe far behind? Oh, I love that. So when I was like 6 or 7 is when my accent actually started converting from a Michigan accent to a Southern accent. And my mom and grandma would like tease me about it because I'd be like, "That's a cool looking ass." They'd be like, "What did you just say?" I'm like, "That's a cool looking ass."
No.
And that's what that reminded me of. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my whole like extended family is from the South, so like whenever I'm around them, I like dip into that Southern twang a little bit, and it's always so fun if like I'm around them and I also have friends around and they're just like, "What are you saying?"
Right. That's a hella cool name. Yeah, use it. So you may have noticed, but my accent bounces everywhere because I wanted to be a voice actor when I was younger, and I was just mildly obsessed with accents and everything in general. So I learned how to say certain things certain ways, and they just kind of stuck. So I could literally use just like 4 different accents in a sentence, and I don't even think about it. But I had a point. Oh, so I was in a call with somebody recently, and they were like, "Your accent keeps changing," and I'm like, "Okay, does it? I don't know what you want me to do about it." So that's what that reminded me of. My old dog's name is that Saki or Seki? And my new pup's name is Pixie. These kind of theme, there's kind of a theme with both of them ending in an I. Oh, so my nickname growing up, well, one of my 80 nicknames was Sammy, Sammi. That's how I decided to spell it. And then my sister's name is Tabitha. And so her nickname was Tabby. My mom tried to spell it with a Y when I was like 8, and I informed her that is not how you spell my sister's name. My sister's name was spelled like me, so there would be an I, and that was it. And then our baby sister, her middle name is Nicole, so her nickname is Nikki, and I'm like, it must be spelled the same. And like, my baby sister didn't know that's why her name was spelled that way until very recently. And I was like, yeah, it's my fault. And then at a baby shower, over the weekend, my aunt was not my aunt, my soon-to-be cousin-in-law. She was like, "How do you spell Roxy's name?" And I was like, Roxy. And my aunt was teasing me because she's like, "Not Roxxi." And I'm like, "Look, I could have gone Mickey Mikki, Gaby Gabbi, and then Roxy Roxxi, but my husband was like, no. So yes, I'll forever be mildly salty about that. Could have carried it on, but it's fine. I aesthetically like Roxy better anyway. But this close, yo. This close.
Almost had it.
Farble came from my nonsense word refarble feed. Is that how you say that? I have echolalia, so I repeat words and accents easily. When I order food, I sound like I'm from Texas for no reason. Maybe I also have echolalia or not, or I don't. I'm gonna look into that because I don't know what that word means. Also, everybody's giving me fun words to try to pronounce today. Start making Matt and Jesse try to say some of them.
I was thinking that other one, maybe refarblified.
Refarblified? Maybe. That sounds better than what I was trying to say.
I read at a 3rd grade level, so you know. Probably not.
So
great.
You know how to pronounce like and face and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll notice in my work, Jesse, that no words are longer than 2 syllables.
Cool. Same though.
He only uses the $2 words, no $5 words here.
I'm broke. I don't have $5 words.
Too rich for you. It's useful for when you need yet another word that makes rebuilt, reconstituted, recycled, etc. Oh, that means okay, cool. I had something I was going to say. You two can talk, by the way. I usually just kind of ramble to fill up the waiting for chat to load or Yes.
Speaking of talk of accents, so like throughout elementary school, I had like speech therapy because my mouth is stupid. I've got a big old fat tongue that can't form sounds.
Okay.
And so in the midst of speech therapy, I went to a friend's house and his dad was like, "Where are you from? Like your voice sounds so weird." And I'm like, "Ohio? I don't know." So like ever since I've been so self-conscious about my voice because I'm like, I don't know where I sound like I'm from.
That's such a lovely way to phrase that to a child. Definitely not
You
going
sound
to leave long-lasting things. Well, if it makes you feel better, your accent is far more stable than my own. So,
Yay! I sound like I'm from Ohio.
Oh
In
my
Norwegian tongue, oh god, I don't even. There's letters in there that make my dyslexia hate life. Okay, I'm gonna try this, and then Stig's gonna be able to make fun of me. Damn it, Stig is gonna be able to make fun of me. I know your name. I know how to say it. Okay. Tongue twister is Eibsen. That's so much more German sounding, but oh well. Ribber Busker og under Buskvister, maybe? Jesse, Matt, I demand you both try that.
All right.
Ibsen's Ripsabusker Og Andre Buskavester.
I'm going to go heavily American for my translation. Ibsen's Ribs Bear Busker Og Andre Buskavester.
See who was closest.
I think I nailed it.
It was Matt. Echolalia is a common trait of autistic children. It's used as a form of communication. It is a useless repetition of words. It helps with communication. Thank you, Cody. Today I have learned. Yes, it is. My new job is with autistic children. I went to a local deli and got asked what part of Texas I am from.
What part of Texas? Michigan, actually.
What part of Texas? The Michigan part. Matt was closest. See, now I'm like, I don't know if it was legit or not, to be honest. I have a strong Texas accent, and people often like hearing me talk and making fun of how I pronounce certain words. They're just jealous they can't pronounce it like that. But pretty good from all of you, considering none of you are Norwegian. We are not. And I have not been doing my Duolingo.
My family's from Norway, but I don't live there.
Right. It's too far removed. It's like 6 generations.
I have no idea where my family's from. Whenever I ask, they're just like, I don't know, Europe, probably.
Somewhere in Europe. So, like, the way my family does their genealogy is from my grandmother and my grandfather, and, like, nobody else matters, apparently. So, from my grandfather's side, we know that there's, like, Norwegian and Irish and Scottish and British, just the standard American white people ones. And then from my grandmother's side, there's British and then Irish and Cherokee. So that's the 3 from there. But the Cherokee is like so far removed that only a few of us have any of it at all. And my mom says you can tell because we're the ones that tan and we don't burn. Which is why. Because I don't know where else that could come from. Everybody else burns.
Yeah, I burn. I'm a burner.
Sorry. I had a completely different thing in mind for that. Jesse running around with the torch.
Also, when I look at you, I see in my peripheral my hair just bouncing up and down. It's just going.
It's better than my American accent anyway. My papa dad's side is from Czechoslovakia and my grandpa mom's side, we don't know. I got an Ancestry.com DNA test. And that is very fun to look at and to figure out like the percentages and stuff. Although it was funny because a lot of my life I was told I was French Peruvian in there. And I didn't know what that was, except like French people colonized Peru, maybe? And then I got a DNA test and it was like, you're 1% Native American from the Andean region. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's kind of near Peru. So yeah, maybe that's it. And then Ancestry.com updated and they're like, nah, you're 1% North American Native American. And I'm like,
Still don't know.
is it the Peruvian or the Cherokee? Which one did I get? Damn it. A while ago, I did that Ancestry DNA thing. We'll post screenshots of what it said in CC, but it's kind of shocked me. I love doing it. Like, Chris did it, and he's like 70-something% Native American Nicaraguan, which is what we knew. And then seeing everything else that wasn't Nicaraguan was really interesting. So it's not my DNA, so I will not share the rest. But he's particularly proud of that much. My mom's side is super Norwegian. My dad's side is super Norwegian. So boring, but have not done ancestry test. So I love doing the ancestry test, and I'm like, nobody's 100% anything, right? Except apparently Conan O'Brien is like 100%, I think, Scottish or something. And so there was a meme going around that was like, that's a lot of generations of inbreeding. That's the only way. Bubbe. That is Bubbe, right? It's Pennsylvanian Dutch. Mom's side, British Isles, with Swedish and drops of French and German. Dad's side is Lithuanian and Eastern European. My 23andMe was predictable. Awesome. European is all I know.
Same. Also, right. I really want to hear Stieg's American accent that he brought up.
Yeah, Stieg, do an American accent. Send us the video. To be fair, Conan O'Brien also looks like there's a dad. That's me. Yes, I love the long E. Bye-bye. I have some Penn Dutch on my dad's mom's side. Cool. All right, so we're going to do the final sprint of the night.
Woo. Wow. That was good timing, Matt. Let's do that at the same exact time.
It's our one brain cell, just...
You're right.
It's working overtime tonight.
Totally in sync. All right, so 1, 2, 3, go. All right, all right. That sprint is over. How did everybody do? We lost to Jesse.
Checking my word count real quick.
All right, I'm now on 7 out of 8, so I've only got 2 pages left, which I will finish after the stream ends. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Jesse went to take his dogs outside, so.
Ooh, that was my best sprint yet. I got a cool 699.
Ooh, nice. I always have mixed feelings about things that end in 99 because I'm like, if I had only done one more word. But 699 is still awesome. I did find out a while ago I was related to some French monarch. Cool.
Fancy.
My mom thinks we're related to everyone from Winston Churchill to Barack Obama. That's quite the range. My aunt has a massive box of papers about my dad's side of family history. Oh, I thought those two were connected. I like when like people can pull out those kind of receipts and everything because it's like so cool to have that family history. Another chapter outlined. Oh yeah. The closest we have to that is me and a few other people are trying to build our family tree on Ancestry.com, and also my like 5 or 6 greats grandmother, who was the daughter of a Cherokee chieftain, is in the national book for the Cherokee Nation. And that's it. But I can't remember her name right now. So back to character profiles. I promise. I'm just curious. It's all. There's no judgment. 295, 771 for the stream, less than 100 words from the end of the chapter.
Yes.
That's awesome. I always told people I was related to Helen Keller when I was a kid. That's cool, I think. I'm trying to remember who that is. I'm going to assume that's cool, though. I'm related to a small family shipping company in southern Norway through my mom's side, and a guy there died and left 2 children he hated and an alleged treasure hidden away.
Ooh.
Go find the pirate gold. Go find it.
Now, speaking of related to famous people, I was told growing up that I was related to the Wright brothers. And then I finally asked like how we knew that. And my dad was like, well, your grandma's maiden name is Wright. And I'm like, so are a lot of people. That doesn't mean we're related to the Wright brothers.
You're like, hold on now. Hold on.
And I'm like, I told so many people that, and like you have no backing for that information.
You're like, how dare you make me?
I lied to so many people.
Helen Keller, the blind woman. Ah, yes. The blind deaf lady. Awesome. Is one of those moments where I wish that my brain fog didn't like prevent me from remembering things that I know because I know that I know Helen Keller and I know that I know her story, and I'm just like, but I cannot remember anything right now. So on an aside, you remember how I told you Chris got moved to second shift?
Mm-hmm.
And so he was told that he was moved to second shift because it was a seniority thing. He was one of the newest team leads on first shift. Apparently no, because he just saw one of the first shift team leads who has less seniority than him. So he talked to his old assistant manager, and he was all like, he looked like a deer in headlights. So he's going to take this up to the supervisor tomorrow, and hopefully gonna fight to get put back on first shift, because there's no reason he should have been moved to second shift now.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, which the dude was like, what? So I thought, don't you like it back there? And my husband's like, it doesn't matter. I wanted day shift. I didn't ask for night shift. So, yeah. Also, welcome back, Jesse.
Thanks.
No one fact checks in Ohio.
No one knows anything in the state. We're all just guessing.
Oh, no. On my screen right now, because I have it kind of halved, this comment just like comes up to here on Matt.
Oh yeah, that's how I have it. That's how it is on mine too, even though it's full screen.
My last family to come here from England, we have all their naturalization papers and documents about my great uncle's death in World War II. Churchill's a distant cousin by marriage, grandpa research. Stuff like that's cool. I wish that like everybody had that option, but unfortunately, we don't all. Although that does remind me, in Iceland, they actually they keep, because their population's so small, they keep track of everybody's genealogy, and they have this dating app to figure out if you're related to somebody before you start dating them.
Nice.
And I'm like, that reminds me of my family in Michigan, because I have a second cousin who accidentally dated one of her second cousins, because they just had never met and didn't know they were related until like she was riding with her mom in a car, and they were like going to visit a relative, and she's like, why are we going this is where my boyfriend lives. And they're like,
oh no.
No.
That's bad.
We got a lot of family up there in Michigan. That's where most of them are.
There was one I delivered to somebody with the last name. It wasn't Nasset, but it was another last name that you have in your family. I remember talking. Yeah, I remember talking to you about that.
Yeah. The Trumbles, the Nassets, there's another one. I don't remember, but there's a third one that's pretty much, if they have those last names, I am probably related to them. It's very high chance. It's gonna bother. I'm gonna call, the stream's gonna end, and I'm gonna call my grandma, and I'm gonna be like, what's the third name?
And then you'll have to let us know.
I will. Welcome back. It's gonna be like that week I couldn't remember the song, and I'm just gonna tweet.
Did you ever find out the name of that song?
I did. It's My Demons by Starset. I also put it in the description in that video.
I love that song.
It's on my writing playlist.
One of my friends sent me that before like I ever heard of anything about that band or anything. It's just like, wow, what a small world in the music universe.
For anybody watching now that wasn't there, I was in a stream, and I could not, we were just like talking about things, and I was talking about a song that I was like, when I first heard it, I went, oh, this is very 90s kind of, that grunge punk, which is actually alternative rock, but I don't know music genres, so forgive me. But that very 90s like alternative rock sound. And everyone in the chat was like, well, what's the song? And I'm like, I don't remember this song. It's a new song. And I knew it wasn't from the 90s or the early 2000s because the like quality of sound was too clear. And it took me until 3 a.m, but I did find it.
I love that song. It's so catchy. It's so catchy.
It is. It's now the song that I've been listening to on repeat for the week.
I've been listening to this song. It's interesting. Matt's heard it.
Yep.
It's like
Henry song.
There's like, I think part of it is in Mongolian.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's the song called?
It's called Wolf Totem by The Who, H.U.
Have to send it to me.
And it's a very interesting song, and I've been having it stuck in my head for like 2 weeks now. It's crazy.
Well, I would love to hear it, so send that to me. Please and thank you. Apparently, one of my mom's cousins was on Jerry Springer. Don't know if there's something to brag about, but it's something. It's fair. No contacts. No contacts for what? For the song?
And the song I've been listening to on repeat is the metal cover of Boyfriend. I don't know if you're familiar.
Boyfriend by who?
I don't know who. Let me look. It's the Justin Bieber song Boyfriend, but it's the metal cover of it.
I don't know that one. But
it's the one Jenna had for the Asher portrait.
Oh, that song!
Yeah. Okay. I've been listening to that on repeat.
Okay, I know what song you're talking about now. Oh, calling your it would not be the first time. There was one time I called my grandmother and I was like, I think I'm dyslexic. And she just goes, yeah, probably. Earlier today, I called her and I was like, there's going to be a Georgia Peach Truck tour coming to our town next week. And she was like, a Georgia Peach Truck? And I'm like, yeah, they're selling like a 25-pound box of Georgia peaches and we want them. And Grandma was like, okay, we can order some. And then I was like, they're also selling pecans. And she's like, we don't need canned peaches if we're I'm like, no, pecans, not canned peaches. So finish the chapter. 803 now for the stream. 28,263 for the manuscript. Ah, yeah. Yikes. Oh, I love my grandmother. My grandmother's a young grandmother, right? Because having babies young kind of ran in the family until I had kids. I was like, yeah, fuck that. But so like my grandma was, I think 30 when I was born. And so she's only like 60 now. No, she just turned 60 last year. So she's between 60 and 63, I think. But yeah, and she's a great grandma now, and her oldest great grandchild is turning 9 this year. That's my oldest child that I just had to think real hard about his age. But she loves to tell people that too. She'll be all like, oh yes, I'm a great grandmother. My oldest grandchild is 8. And they're all like, you don't look old enough to be a grandmother, let alone a great grandmother. And she just eats it up. And I'm like, yeah, this is the same woman who would hit me with a shoe and call me a bitch for beating her at Mario Party. She's like, you cheating bitch. And I'm like, excuse you.
Mario Party does get pretty competitive.
Yeah. It brings out the worst in everybody.
Yeah.
One of the first times Chris, my husband, visited my house, we all played Mario Party. And we made him sit by my grandmother. And he was really good. Well, I had just beaten her, or I had just won a mini game, and she looks at me. She's like, "You little bitch!" And I was like, "But he's winning with the stars." And she just hit his shoulder, and he looked so shocked. And she said, "Stop cheating!" And he just did not know how. And I'm like, "That's grandma. That's if you're winning, you're cheating. Unless she's winning, then it's fair." So.
My family was the complete opposite. They had kids really late. So my grandma, if she was still alive, she'd be 95. Both her and my mom had their kids at like 37-ish.
See,
so,
most of my friends' parents had them when they were like in their late 20s or early 30s. Yeah. So like my grandparents were their parents' ages, and it was always just really weird. So, but like, see, like for you said your grandmother would be 90 something.
Yeah,
my great grandmother was 90 something before she passed, and that was like less than 5 years ago for me. So,
yeah, that's. I went through high school. Like everybody's like, "Oh, my mom's like 25." I'm like, not 25 in high school, but my mom was like
Oh my
25 when they had them. And I'm like, oh, my mom was 37, so my mom's like 50, and yours is 40.
Yeah, everyone
So I had
else's
the opposite
parents.
problem.
Yeah, it's really weird to just be living that different experience from everyone. And then like Chris was just like, his mom is the same age as my mom, so I'm like, you get it. But apparently that's also the average age of parents where he's from, so he doesn't actually get it the same way. And I'm like, damn it. But all right, so we did our last sprint. I really have to pee and take my sister home. So we should wrap up. All right, Jesse, Matt, go ahead and tell the people who you are again.
After you.
I am Jesse or Queef, depending on where you're from. I just finished my first draft of my first book. And yeah, you can find me in the links below.
And I am Matt, also Matt, depending on if you know me from CC. And I write urban fantasy and the occasional short story here and there. You can find me at the links below. On my Instagram, I usually post pictures of my nephew, and on my Twitter, I post dumb jokes. And I'm the dumbass half of Jesse's heart.
Yeah, we are now contractually obligated to always be on stream together.
Yep.
All right, and then everybody knows who I am, or if you don't, I wonder how you got here, but thank you for being here. I am Samantha L. Nasset. I'm a writer mom who talks about writing and momming and, just writer parent things. Thank you for joining us on the stream. Thank you for watching it later if you watch it after it goes up. As always, thank you everyone for understanding and putting up with my brain fog. So we will see you all later.
See you guys later.
Later.
Have a good night.